everybody, welcome to Decode Australia. Today is Tuesday, September the 15th, 2020. My name is Tamer.
And I'm Laura.
And we're going to be starting with the Euro-Yen analysis.
Euro slid down against the Japanese yen on Tuesday, decreasing the price of the Euro-Japanese yen pair to less than 126.00. Ahead of the release of Bank of Japan interest rate decision news, the technical bias remained bullish since the pair marked a higher high in the recent upside move, as shown in the chart below.
Now, currently the Euro-Yen is struggling around the 125.39 level. You'll find the following support levels if you look at the chart closely. As support one is the 124.72, which is the lower trend line arm. As second support, you'll see the 124.42, which is the low of September 9, 2020. And finally, the third support you'll come across is the 124.08, which is a Fibonacci level of 23.6%. On the upside, the Euro-Yen may face the following resistance levels. At resistance 1 is the 126.12, which is the high of September 11, 2020. At second resistance, you'll come across the 126.68, which is the upper trend line arm. And finally, the third resistance is a key horizontal area, which is 127.08. But technical bias does remain bullish as long as the 124.08, which is a key horizontal support, and in addition, it is a Fibonacci level if this remains intact.
Now we'll move on to BOJ interest rate decision news. The Bank of Japan is all set to release numbers concerning the interest rate decision on September 17, 2020, which is this Thursday. According to the forecast of economists, the figure of the BOJ interest rate decision registered a reading of negative 0.1% in August as compared to negative 0.1% in the months before. No change was noticed in the BOJ interest rate decision over the due course of time. Should the interest rate rises owing to the hawkish view of the BOJ towards the inflationary outlook of the country's currency, a bullish market is anticipated for the Japanese yen, which means a downward trend for the Euro-Japanese yen and vice versa.
Now, in conclusion, given the economic outlook for the pair, buying the Euro-Yen around the current levels may still be profitable in the short term to medium term trading. Now, let's move on to the US-Swiss analysis.
The US dollar slid down against the Swiss franc on Tuesday, decreasing the price of the USD Swiss franc pair to less than 0.9100. Ahead of the release of the US Fed interest rate decision news, the technical bias remained bearish because the price of the pair printed a lower high in the recent upside move, as shown in the graph below.
Now, the US Swiss is currently trading around the 90.79 level, and you'll come across the following support levels. If you look at the chart closely, you'll find the first support is at 90.51, which is the low of August 17 this year. Second support is 89.98, which is a major horizontal support level. And finally, the third support is at 89.84, which is the lower trend line arm. Okay, on the upside, the US Swiss might come across the following resistance levels. At first, resistance is the 94.24 to 94.28, which is a major horizontal resistance zone. Remember, level is a line, but zones you need to keep an eye on. So it's probably touched multiple times in that area. Second resistance is the 91.48, which is the high of July 31st this year. And finally, the third resistance is the 91.88, which is the 23.6 Fibonacci level. The technical bias is expected to remain bearish as long as the 91.88, which is a key horizontal Fibonacci level, remains intact.
Now we'll move on to the US Fed interest rate decision news. The Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve, United States, is scheduled to release numbers concerning the interest rate decision on Wednesday, September 16, 2020. According to economists' forecast, the Fed interest rate figure remained unchanged, registering a reading of 0.25% in August as compared to the reading of 0.25% in the months before. The U.S. Fed interest rate figure reflects the amount of interest charged by the central bank against the advances and loans taken by commercial banks. Generally speaking, a higher rate suggests a positive inflationary movement of the U.S. dollar and is therefore seen as bullish for the USD Swiss Franc pair and vice versa.
That's right, Laura. Look, this interest rate decision is big news, so you've got to pay close attention to it. So in conclusion, considering the bearish trend of the US Swiss over the past few days, still selling the pair around the current levels might work well. But as always, trade with what you can afford to lose and apply strict money and risk management at all times.
Please don't forget to follow us on our YouTube channel, Facebook page, and Instagram. There's a lot for us to teach. Thank you.
See you tomorrow. Bye for now.